this thing work? This is the Peak Boredom Podcast.
1, 2, 3. Okay, yeah.
Hi. Welcome back, everyone, to a special episode of Peak Boredom.
Happy Independence Day, guys!
We want to wish you
Indonesian Independence Day.
Indonesian Happy Independence Day.
Yeah.
Right, so we thought we did this special episode so far so we could talk about our journey, the behind the scenes of some of the episodes that we've had, and as well as like some discussion about our favorite Indonesian food, drinks, parts of our culture, and all that good stuff. While Grace is doing a live drawing in the background, so don't mind her. So let's get started, shall we? Our first episode. Thought?
I thought it was cool. What are you thinking of?
That was the first time we've recorded anything. We've actually had to record it twice. And
Yeah.
we were really used to doing the whole recording thing, so we had to really follow a script, and it was super stiff, I think, so we really had to like redo it.
Yeah, we redo it to make it more like a conversation, and I think that worked pretty well.
And like being a sound engineer right now, Grace, please keep your scratching to a minimum. So yeah, the first episode editing, you guys, was like, I had to tell you, we had to tell Michelle not to breathe or move for the next episode. Yeah, she was like, she was doing like that.
That was me, honestly. I think it might be like scratching around, or like because I usually record by the window was open, and UK is pretty windy. So that might have been it. I don't think it's me hyperventilating in front of the mic.
Probably. Oh, but the second episode though, you were behind a curtain and you did this.
Oh yeah, curtain, and you could really hear it.
Our
That's
second
cool.
episode went well. It's just that I didn't get the memo everyone's wearing stripes, so that's why I wore stripes on that day.
Were we all wearing stripes?
Yeah. I actually
Yeah.
changed to stripes.
Lauren, how did you feel becoming a guest? Because you were the guest.
Well, it's my first time being a podcast guest, but you know, like, because I'm so chatty, so like as long as you give me a topic
That's
to
an
talk,
understatement.
like, I mean, as long as you give me a topic to talk about, and like I feel like it's actually the most honest I've been talking about music, so I thank you guys for that, seriously. And yeah, actually we planned for it to be 30 minutes. It ended up to be like an hour.
Yeah, so we have to learn a lot about stopping ourselves.
Time management. We talk too much, guys, seriously.
What about you, Grace?
Yeah.
How was editing our posters for the first two?
It was fine. It got frustrating at first.
Confession.
I just look at colors and I go like, oh, it's great. And then I wake up after a nap and I don't like it.
Or I'd be like, that's great. That's great, Grace. Can you make it more blue?
And then I asked, guys, what color should I add? And I was like, I'm not gonna ask Mars this because I know the answer is just blue.
But like a lot of people, like a lot of my friends who saw our Instagram, they're like, gosh, the art is so pretty. Who made it? Then I'm like, grass. Yeah, the art is like really pretty. It's so cute. It fits our theme. I mean, that's like also like the process of creating the jingle.
Oh yeah,
I had to think. Yeah, I had to think of an instrument or something that represents Mars and Inge the best.
Okay.
And at first, like the first samples that I sent them, I thought it was too depressing or like too serious to be a Mars or an Inge. And so like the jingle is actually inspired by their personality, which is wacky and cute. Well, not okay, fine, cute.
Yeah, my sister is
And like very energetic
so
and all. So yeah, it took quite a while to make the jingle.
We definitely give Lauren and Grace quite a lot of free reign in terms of music and art because we want them to explore a bit but still have like a purpose. So there's still a deadline, you still have to do something, and there's still certain requirements, but they get to experiment with styles and the different way that they want to do things.
Yeah, and for us, we are making this because we actually want to talk to people, and it's we want to create a fun environment. No, I just sound like a PR stunt, but like we just want this to be a project that we're proud of and we can experiment and acknowledge that we'll make mistakes. So then we can grow and have more fun.
Our third episode was a bit trickier because it had 2 guests and the recording itself was about 2 hours long.
Yeah, we wanted perspectives on climate change. I think that was one of the topics we actually really care, and it was one of the episodes that we wanted to share more to our friends. So we learned a lot how to make an episode actually like entertaining too, in a topic that's so broad. I think we made it.
The thing is though, right, that particular episode, the 2 guests that we had, Nabila and Krasi, they don't actually know each other. So that was the first time they've ever met. They met maybe 2 hours before the recording, because after we met up, we're supposed to start about 15 minutes or half an hour after introducing the guests. But they got so caught up that we ended up chatting for 2 hours and then recording for another 2 hours.
So that's why now we have like icebreakers in plan, just to avoid that. I think it worked pretty well right now. And then what's our fourth?
Ayumi.
Ayumi. I think Ayumi is that's really fun. That's really fun.
I think Ayumi, when we kind of have like our hands on like what to do already, sort of. I mean, I can relate to Ayumi the best because I've moved a lot in that sense. But I think that was the first time we were like, okay, you're giving me this and I'm giving you this time, and then like the art's gonna come here.
Yeah, I think by episode 4 we pretty much know what to do. Like me and Mars is just like, you're gonna give me the episode on Monday and then I'm going to give it to you back, and then we're gonna post.
Yeah, mind
like
you,
that.
We're like in 3 different time zones.
Yeah, and then like if I didn't finish cutting, then I'll just like send it to Mars, like, Mars, okay, I have to go, I can't finish it. It's all on you.
Yeah,
I did the sound, and yeah.
I mean, same for me, so I'm grateful that we have 2 editors, because I'd be like I'd be like, Inga edit, and Inga's like, what?
I think we did. I edit the raw footage for episode 6, James and Kelly, while you're doing the raw footage of Tunas. So yeah, that's when 2 editors. Guys, if you want to build a podcast, 2 editors.
What are your thoughts on it? Because Lauren, you edited Kelly and James's with no science backgrounds. I know you were asking me about quite a lot of the medical jargon that came out of it.
I feel stupid. But I do learn a lot about it. I mean, editing all of the episode, it's like, it really opens my mind, especially when I hear it. Okay, guys, I hear each episode 3 or 4 times. Seriously, I think I memorized the contents of each episode right now. I'm genuinely saying that, I learned a lot from editing.
What about you, Mars? Because Kelly's my cousin. Ooh. And you're more awkward than I am. So what was it like meeting my friends and, well, I guess my cousin and my cousin-in-law?
Awkward. You can tell by that episode. I'm just that girl, you know. Like, I'm that girl that listens, and then like by the 50 mark, you're like, wait a second, can I ask something? I think, well, it's interesting because coming into that episode, I actually don't know anything either besides the things you've told me to. And that was one of the episodes I really wanted to do because I didn't have the knowledge at all.
What about you, Grace? What was it like editing Tuna's and Kelly's and James's and Krasi and Nabila? I know you had trouble with Krasi and Nabila's one.
Yeah, because a lot of people, when I post, I normally go with a draft first, and then I screenshot it and I send it to the group. And normally you send it to the guests and see what they would like. If they like it, they don't. Then they go like, oh, I have a better picture. And the picture that I normally pick is specific for that post, and it goes with the patterns and everything. And then once they change it, I go like, oh, I have to like figure everything out again. Sometimes it goes like well, it's not that hard to to fix it and everything. So normally I have fun with like experimenting with different patterns or like cheesy subjects or like having diamonds and other things around with like patterns everywhere. So like normally I go on Pinterest and like search for patterns or anything that's very much trending all over Instagram or something like that. And then then I just roll with it, experiment, and then like get feedback from my sister mainly on colors.
Tuna's poster looks like, what's that movie?
It looks
It looks like a legit.
It looks like if you can make it into a movie poster, like you can.
I think I like Ayumi's best for now.
Ayumi's is also really nice. Ayumi's is nice because I don't know if Grace did it on purpose, but the red circle behind her, I thought she was doing it on purpose because Japan.
kind of hard.
Japan.
We thought about it, but we thought it would be too aggressive, so we decided to go with the circle, but with the Sri Lankan flag's red color instead of the Japanese imperial red.
Yeah, because it's not the Japanese red color, definitely. But when I see the circle, I'm like, yeah, maybe she's trying to show, give hints. Yeah. Okay, great. So
Next segment.
Right, so next part we're gonna talk about the stuff that we love most about Indonesia, just Indonesian trivia, and we'll just list them, I guess, and we'll see if we all agree with each other.
okay, we'll do it quickly. Okay, come on. Favorite Indonesian food?
Bakmi! Bakmi!
Hey, bakmi.
Padang.
That's pretty good.
To be fair, Indonesia, even in the same city, you have so many different kinds of bakmis. And for Grace, I know specifically because our mom's from Makassar, she likes the Makassar style bakmi the best.
Guys, it's the best.
Why? It's so sweet. So sweet.
My family is from Sumatra, so I like the Siantar bakmi. That one has a lot of. So if you don't know, like parts of Indonesia, they have a lot of different ethnicity and like religion and all that. So where I'm from, that specific part, there's a lot of Christians. So our bakmi, which is kind of like a noodle, like wet noodle. I'm not sure.
We'll show a picture.
Yeah, we'll show a picture. Picture. And it has pork, so I think that taste makes it different.
Ours does too. We have chashu in ours.
Or like bakmi that they sell on the streets. Yeah, those types of bakmis are like, you don't have to see the process of how they make it. Just eat it.
You gotta be careful with that though.
Disclaimer, everyone, be careful when you eat.
Be careful when you eat Indonesian street food.
Yeah, maybe start with the restaurant first and then make your way down.
Yeah. Train your stomach.
I mean,
And
that's
then
what we
go
do
for
when we
hard
go
food.
home, like because
Right. Okay, real quick honorable mentions of Indonesian food.
Oh, I really love kway teow. And it's char kway teow. It's in Malaysian, but we call it kway teow. So we go.
Other Indonesian food, bakso Malang
Oh, let's go.
Sampai
or Solo or Samrat. Bakso.
nasi goreng.
I love satay. I can drink the satay sauce if I want to.
Oh, Sate Padang is the best. The goat one. Oh my
Oh,
god.
Oh, the smell of charcoal.
It's just like
Oh
yeah.
my gosh. See, guys, this is how homesick we all are right now.
yeah.
Oh my gosh, I'm craving it. Oh,
Okay, favorite Indonesian drink.
Oh, that's weird.
Es podeng.
Yeah.
And
Explain, explain what that is.
es podeng is basically this drink. It's a drink and a dessert. So like it's basically, it has beans and then it has some jelly, it has ice and then a chocolate syrup and then nuts and then we call it meses. It's sprinkles,
bread.
and then some bread at the bottom. So that's basically it. But of course they can change it a bit. It varies the toppings, but that's the basic topic. And then the topping. And then my my other favorite drink is es teh, which is like just normal tea. Like I think it's red tea, but
So Indonesia has some of the best jasmine tea in the world. So that is jasmine.
oh,
tea.
is it jasmine? I
Yeah.
don't know the type of the tea. I just know it's es teh. It's just
We-
iced
we-
tea.
We
I'm
produce
doing-
so much jasmine tea that our cheapest teas are jasmine.
I'm
Oh
drinking
yeah,
one
that's the
yeah.
best.
Yay!
One of the brands I like.
Tongji.
It's like
So
our,
yeah,
it's like
Tea
our
and Prego.
jasmine tea, but we call it melati.
Those are the two ones.
Yeah.
For me, it's something that you cannot find outside of Indonesia. It's called kopior, and it's really difficult to describe kopior. It's kind of pinkish in color, I think, and some people say it's fermented coconut, but I'm not sure. It's just something that you can't really find outside of Indonesia. And then another honorable mention from our mom's hometown, passion fruit syrup.
Oh, Marquisa.
Marjan.
Marquisa.
No,
Oh,
Lauren.
Marjan. no, Marjan. Okay, never
Mark?
mind.
I actually don't know what I like. So I lived like in Bandung for my childhood, which is in Java, and they have like kolak. I think I pretty much like kolak. It's
Oh,
like a sweet drink. It's sometimes it's I think it's a drink. It's like a sweet drink.
It's a
But-
dessert.
Yeah, but you can also just drink the the component only if you want. I usually just take the water and then I drink it, and then my mom's like, "You're supposed to take the stuff with you."
and Grace.
I like Espodem. I have sweet tooth. So
I know,
put
right?
anything. So they sold Espodem in my high school at one point.
Oh
What
yeah.
to do. And every time we see the Espodem stall, Lauren and I would literally go down the stairs holding hands and skipping to the stall. We're like, yay, Espodem!
Grace and I, when there's always like high school events like athletics day or what, they always have these stalls, and they always have espodeng or bakso, and me and Grace and I will just like run, and those are the first stalls that we go to and like buy, and then we can buy it more than once.
Where are you?
What's
Like
the
after I compete, I go like, Lauren, where are you? I want to get some food.
what's the drink with the green thing on it? Like it was like coconut, and then there's the green.
Chendol?
Yeah, I like chendol actually.
Oh, I love Chendol.
Yeah,
I'm okay with chendol.
Ironically, I get a bit sick of chendol halfway through the glass, but the best chendol I've ever had that did not make me sick, weirdly enough, was in a gas station in Yogyakarta. So what happened was our class was having a trip to Yogyakarta, like a Bahasa literature trip of some sort. And the teacher said, I really want to expose you guys to culture. So while we're at this pit stop, I want everyone to get a cup of that chendol that just happens to be on the side of the road. And when we all started drinking it, and when we got on the bus, the teacher was like, this is so weird. This is the best chendol I've ever tasted. And it's from a gas station.
yeah, it's always one of those places, right?
Yeah, it's always those like places where you randomly find. Usually they have the best food. Yeah. Okay.
Next
Favorite
question.
Indo culture.
For me, I'm really into details and textiles, and that's probably why I love Indonesian culture so much. It's because there's so much variety of it. So for me, it's batik, specifically batik.
Guys,
me and
batik
Lauren,
Is batik.
me and Lauren
Yeah.
are wearing batik, and there's
Batik.
always different forms, and there's like
They are so pretty.
there's batik.
different forms, different motifs, different shapes, and they all have different histories as well. So for people who don't know, it's usually made out of a cloth that's been drawn on with wax, and then they dye it, and it leaves behind. They melt off the wax, and then they just redo it until they get all the patterns that they want. If it's hand drawn, it's usually more expensive than the ones that are printed, and they're so beautiful. And they don't only come in traditional outfits, but they also try to modernize it. So if you look around Indonesia, there's always people wearing batik in more modern designs. They come in every
Yeah.
shape and form: t-shirts, dresses, scarves.
It's too pretty. It's too pretty, I swear. I would
Yeah.
fight for batik.
Lauren?
Me, music, of course. I love gamelan. I love the song of gamelan a lot. Gamelan, maybe the next ones will be like angklung and other stuff. But gamelan is my favorite. As mainstream as it is, gamelan is my favorite. Every time, because I'm in a music school, right? So like every time they had a world music class, and then the teacher was talking about gamelan, and I'm just like, I'm proud because a lot of people are so excited with gamelan, and then like the fact that gamelan is actually really versatile, and like it's so modernized as well. Like there's a lot of ways you can use gamelan. You can use it for EDM, you can use it for rap, you can use it for anything, literally anything, and it sounds nice. It doesn't sound old. So like it has really beautiful sounds. And then because Indonesia is a really big country and there's a lot of areas, there's so much different versions of gamelan. It's not only Javanese or like Balinese gamelan. There's actually Sundanese gamelan and all those things, and they're all different. They all sound different. And what I like most about gamelan is that each instrument, like each gong, sounds different, and they're not tuned. Well, they are tuned, but I mean, like, maybe when you first hear it, you'll feel, wait, does it sound a bit off? But then when you get used to it, you'll feel like the piano is not tuned. So it actually makes your ear adjust, and then you will feel that it's really beautiful, and it's also really powerful. I don't know why I feel like taken aback. I don't know the word. Like, like, whoa. When I hear gamelan, it's just really pretty. And then I learned to play the gamelan when I was in high school with one of our music teachers. And yeah, she taught a bit of the music of Indonesia's music, and we basically just like experiment with the instruments a lot. And I really like Javanese gamelan specifically. I like Javanese gamelan a lot, and I experiment with the scale too. So I'm getting too technical now with the music, but basically, yeah, I like experimenting with gamelan, and I love gamelan.
Okay, Mars?
I don't know, man. Can I say food? I really love the food culture.
There's definitely a very strong tie between culture and food.
Yeah, like, I mean, if you go to Sumatra or where I am, you can really see like the mix between Chinese food and like Indian food and then like our own culture too. I just like food, man. Like, I like soto. Soto is like our soup. I like when I go home to my parents, the first thing we say is, hey, wake up early tomorrow, yeah, we're gonna go to Bandung to eat bakmi, and then we're gonna go back and eat the ice cream from that stall. Like, all we do is like eat around, and like, I think the food culture is just like exceptionally well, the way we mix with stuff. Definitely something that's missing in Canada, or like when you go home, if you ask any Indonesian, they're definitely said food. Like, even if they're like don't want to recognize that they're from there, or like they're like, I don't know, they're not really Indonesian, but like maybe you're a foreigner, they definitely say food, I feel.
Yeah, they'll always say like, what do you miss? Food. They will say that. And I feel like what's interesting too about Indonesian food is that because we're such a big country, we have a lot of ethnicity, and we have a lot of different cultures. So like our food culture is also different, because I love chili, and there's like, I don't know, more than like hundreds of types of chili. Like each area in Indonesia has their own chili,
and like
has their own chili style.
Depending where you are, like Javanese culture, it's more sweet. But if you go to Sundanese, I think it's more I think it's more spicy. Even like the way we eat is different. Padang food, like we eat it with hands, and it's kind of like sushi of our Indonesian sushi. But if you go like to Manado, it's just different,
The point is, it's so diverse that even we're still learning about Indonesian food. So when people sometimes come to us and say, hey, have you tried this Indonesian dish? Sometimes we might go, no, I have not.
Which one?
So diverse. Exactly. I think someone once said to me, "Oh my gosh, you're Indonesian. I love Indonesian fried rice, the nasi goreng kampung." And I said,
They're
"Which?"
right.
So for people who don't speak Indonesian, kampung means village. And so when people say village fried rice, you just kind of have to ask like which village are you talking about? Because even within
And
the
which area?
style.
Yeah.
Which area? Which village? Which stall?
Which mother made it?
How about
Yeah.
you, Greg?
Yeah.
Your favorite part of Indo culture?
Well, I was introduced to Indonesian. I was more on the Western kind of thing because I went to a Western school at such a young age, and so the Western school that I went to, they kind of tried to erase it at some point.
Oh.
But I had a BE teacher that was like very campaigning of it. So when I was in third grade all the way to fifth grade, it was mandatory for us to learn gamelan. And then in fifth grade, she started to put like our orchestra sort of thing. So I was put as the main one. And she was like, Grace, you're not going to the drums. You were terrible. And then they have like my friend who's good at the drums. They put him there. And so we performed in parent-teacher conferences. We performed in like meetings, like ambassadors, people coming in to perform, and like assemblies and stuff like that. But I think that as I progressed into high school, it was more of dance because I was involved in this event in high school called Bulan Bahasa, and I was
Oh,
always
yeah.
in the dance section.
So that's like
Yeah.
a day where most of Indonesian school have, where we kind of like present
Just
our
remember
culture.
our culture. Yeah.
Because,
just
like,
celebrate.
If you tell me like, oh, you're Indonesian, what's your culture? I'm just gonna be like, which part? Like, even I have my own culture and they have their own culture. So that's the day where we're presenting our own clothes, dance moves. I know when I was asked to present in another school, like in another country, we did the Saman dance.
Oh,
Yeah.
Oh, that
That
was
was
hot.
super fun, yeah. And then they love it so much that they made us perform again, I think. And then we were like, oh, but we don't have our, our clothes. Well, we did anyway, so I think that was pretty fun.
Saman hurts. I've done Saman twice. It hurts.
The thing with these dances is that you expect to forget them because I learned this about 2 years ago, and so I expected like within probably when I went to university that I'd forget it completely. But the song popped up again in like an Indo event in the UK, and like by muscle memory, I like remembered the entire dance.
Wow.
I mean, I remember parts of it, but it's been like 10 years for me.
I was like, huh.
okay. Favorite Indo songs, folk or pop, anything.
Janger. For me, it's Janger.
For me, it's for folk song, it's Cublak Cublak Suang, and for normal pop song, anything by the artist Tulus. I love Tulus so much. My favorite song from his is Sepatu. It means shoes. So yeah, I really like his songs.
Okay, great.
What is my favorite song? I really don't know. I don't pay attention to these. I like Laskar Pelangi sometimes. I just like
That's
this.
iconic. That's very iconic.
Yeah, that's very iconic. Okay,
Mark?
Mars.
I like and we have a lot of sort of independent songs, whatever. I like Indonesia Beta. That's really nice.
We'll end it off with like a really important segment to us. Favorite place in Indonesia to visit that is not Bali. It's an honorable mention because Indonesia is such a beautiful and diverse country, and we have such a rich biodiversity. Even if you like to go snorkeling, different areas have different types of fish, different types of coral. We produce pearls as well. If you get to go to a agricultural festival where people showcase some of the stuff that they make, that stuff is really good. So, favorite places for holiday. Let's go with Lauren first.
Bandung. I'm a city girl, guys. Guys, I'm a city girl. I don't really like to go to beaches. If you watch the episode 2 on the podcast, you know that I'm scared of the oceans. So I avoid beaches at all costs. I'll only stay in the shore. That's a waste of money. So I stay in cities. I love Bandung.
That's where I'm born at.
Yeah, I love Bandung. I go there like quite often. As a kid, I go there like every maybe like twice a year, like a lot. Like I just go to Bandung a lot, and now I go more to Bogor, and I love because Bogor food is just nice, man. So yeah, I really want to go to Surabaya. Dude. I really want to go there. I've never been there, and
I've been there, yeah.
yeah, a lot of people say it's nice.
The food and the culture there is very strong. For me
Yeah.
personally, I'm the opposite of Lauren. I love beaches. So for me, the Thousand Islands, so like Flores, Lombok, those kind of areas. I know it's gaining popularity now, but I really just like snorkeling. So I would say Derawan, which is in Kalimantan, Wakatobi, which I've never been to, but I really want to go, which is in Sulawesi, and Thousand Islands just for snorkeling. Mars?
Dang it, that's hard. You guys took all my answers. Definitely a recommendation is at Lombok. If you think Bali is beautiful, please go to Lombok. There's a lot of mountains, beautiful mountains that my friends climb in high school, I think. If you want good food, I think an interesting place is Manado. Even the way they serve their food is interesting. They count how many people go in rather than how much you eat in some restaurants. So that in itself is funny. And then I guess if you want like more like, I guess, minority Indonesian food, Medan, I'm gonna shout out Siantar, Medan, those places. They have really good mix of food. Every time I go there with my family, I get super fat, so just be warned. And I guess Bandung is my hometown. I spent my childhood there, and I think that's also a really good, like, if you don't want to go far from Jakarta, Bandung is the place if you want to explore food in particular.
And my mom's hometown as well. I should probably mention my mom's hometown of Makassar. Big fat crabs. And really,
actually I really want to try to go to Makassar too. So Surabaya and Makassar, I want to go there.
Surabaya.
Because I guess to me Sulawesi is such a skinny island. It's surrounded by ocean, so the seafood, the access to seafood is huge, and the seafood is amazing.
Oh yeah, Indonesian seafood is best. Anywhere in Indonesia, the seafood is just best, man. We have over 70,000 islands, so.
Grace, favorite holiday place that's not Bali?
I really enjoy going to Charita. When I was there
oh my gosh, Charita!
Charita, I totally forgot.
Charita!
I know, like, it sounds like cheesy because I've been there like probably multiple times for like retreats, all family holidays. I just like it there. It's very quiet. Well, not very, but like you get it. It's quiet. You kind of hear the beaches. Like sometimes when I went to a retreat one time there, I would wake up at 5 in the morning, which is weird. I don't wake up normally. I would wake up early in the morning and just sit by the beach and just listen to the waves. It's really nice. Or like sometimes I accidentally sleep on the beach and like, oops.
Ow.
I sleep anywhere. I just like I find somewhere and I just sleep.
Grace is usually relaxing somewhere and I'm usually looking around. So during these times, I would be the person who's like looking for hermit crabs and playing with them.
Charita is the one with Anak Krakatau, right?
Yeah. Actually,
right?
Really cool.
Yeah. It's the one with Anak Krakatau.
So for people who don't know, there was a giant volcano named Krakatau that a couple hundred years ago, I think, it erupted so loudly that you can hear it from Australia, I think. And it kind of collapsed on itself and now it has a baby.
It's called Anak. The child of Krakatau. So, and it's near the Charita beach. So actually, I was in Charita too. And I stayed in the at the hotel nearby, like seaside hotel. And then I saw, hotels, they give like menu, channel, this, and this particular hotel, they have a form, like not a form, like a brochure of like procedure if a tsunami were to happen. And they just listed like step 1, how to spot a tsunami, step 2, what to do, and like they just listed. So because I think it's because if Anak Krakatau ever erupts, the tourists would know like what to do.
Strangely enough, Grace and I grew up before we ever went to Charita and Anyar and all that stuff, Grace and I grew up going on holiday to Pelabuhan Ratu. And from what I've heard, Pelabuhan Ratu is also quite a dangerous place. But I guess it might not have been back then. I just heard that it's haunted and the waves come up really high. I'm not sure anymore.
You know, a haunted place that I heard is actually Puncak.
Oh, Puncak's definitely haunted.
Yeah. A lot of people say Puncak is haunted. Like they see a lot of sightings there. And like,
So Puncak is like on top of the mountain, kind of.
Yeah, that's why it's called Puncak.
Puncak is literally means
top of the mountain. Peak. Puncak kebosanan.
A lot of like high school trips or like any trips in our school or like any other schools, you go there. I think is it near Bandung? Maybe on the way Bandung.
Yeah, on the way.
Yeah, pretty quiet. It's nice if you don't want to travel far.
In terms of haunted though, I think most of Indonesia is most of Asia to be honest is pretty mystic anyway.
Yeah.
So,
but Java, the island of Java, I would say is the most mystical.
Yes, especially areas like Yogyakarta.
Yeah.
Very
mystical.
Those sightings are so common. All right. Last question. What would you like to see from Indonesia in the future?
I would like to see, because we're so diverse. We're so diverse that there's a lot to learn, of course. But as diverse as we are, and we have this thing called Pancasila, which is the 5 pillars ideologies that's supposed to unite Indonesia. But of course, there's no such thing as no racism. Even though there's a lot of Chinese Indonesians, we still do get discriminated. And not even Chinese Indonesians. It's not only them discriminating us. Sometimes unconsciously, we're also discriminating other races. And I feel like I personally would really love to see a decrease in discrimination. So like I feel like it's very difficult, but I mean nothing is impossible, right? And I think one more thing that I would hope for Indonesia is because we have such a rich culture, but it's so often like commonly overlooked because we all take it for granted. Because okay, our culture is rich, so what? But like, one of the reasons why I want to go to music as well is because I really want to promote Indonesian culture. I feel like it's really important for every one of us to stick to our culture and to, even if you don't like Indonesia, you will still be an Indonesian, you know, like it's still there. And I feel it's very important to keep your culture. So guys, if you're Indonesian and you're not in Indonesia, keep your culture and keep it growing, because our country is seriously, it has the most beautiful cultures, like and different. And I feel like preservations of cultures and more acknowledgement towards cultures, protection towards old historical places should be like done. And I will really hope that will happen sooner or later.
Building a world where we can put, similar to what Lauren said, culture with technological advancements. In the past, it's very difficult for me to put those two in the same vision, because people seem to look at culture and tradition as almost barbaric, and by shedding your culture behind, you somehow become more advanced. But this is why the movie Black Panther was so mind-blowing for me. It's because people were living in a society where they were so proud of their culture and their tradition and their textiles, and yet they were still super technologically advanced. And that's the Indonesia I want to see, where people are proud of their culture and who they are, but they're still moving forward in society. And this doesn't have to just do with like textiles, songs, and ceremony and stuff. I'm also talking about our biodiversity and our resources, because like it or not, that is also a part of what makes us diverse and really Indonesian.
We have like really rich biodiversity, seriously. But I feel like it's often neglected and often like underappreciated. I feel like Indonesia should be like Wakanda. Indonesia forever.
I think I think that's all country that has been, colonized. I have the same sentiment with everyone. One of our other motto is Bineka Ukatika, is it? It means
Bineka Tunggal Ika.
yeah, there you go. It means unity and diversity. I think that going on, there's a lot of cultures in Indonesia that don't get represented, especially if they're not not a majority. And I think what we strayed off from the past is having that culture in the picture of what Indonesia is. I think that's what's missing, and I hope that as our generation goes on, we actually represent all these cultures we never talk about. I just hope that we strive for a better future. I'm seeing a lot of people that are our age and lower that are striving for a better Indonesia, creating NGOs, workshops, and Indonesia's being in the media now. I think that's like in music, we all know famous Indonesian music, or like in the movie actors now. I think that representation of Indonesia, especially Southeast Asia, I hope that more of us come forward to represent our culture in those mediums so that I don't get mistaken by Filipinos. Thank you.
I think overall, I just want Indonesia to be like a safer place, like a safer, more inclusive, diverse place overall. Because like the underlying issue is that there's racism, there's corruption, there's discrimination everywhere. There's like these things that like sometimes people just never bring up and they never discuss these kind of things. So I think that we need to take these topics as a discussion to the general public of Indonesia to kind of like inform them on stuff.
Yeah, and I'm glad it's happening with social media, especially. With some cases we care about, like the recent sexual harassment case, that it's been taken out from this year's legislation. There's a lot of people on the top of that, making sure that's in the next one. Definitely less racism, I feel, in our generation. I've seen a lot of the friends I made are not the same as me, and you think like, wow, you're Indonesian, but like there's a lot of cultures in Indonesia that I don't even know yet. And I think we're doing pretty well. But we need to be better.
Yeah, and I guess for like foreigners who come to Indonesia, especially Bali, I guess like probably they should learn to respect your culture, not think of it as like everything is unique sort of thing. They go like, oh, they live like that, it's unique. Oh, they ride elephants to school or something like that. It's like, no, they're probably providing more stereotypes about us than they thought they think, whatever it is.
That's true. People don't realize that Jakarta is a metropolitan city. We have really high skyscrapers. It's come to the point where I've had friends who come from Indonesia to go to London, and they say, wow, the buildings in London are so short. And yet people from London still think of Indonesia as, oh, you ride elephants to school, you swing from vines, and like, that's not what we are.
Yeah, they actually, like, a lot of foreigners like think Indonesia is either Bali or
Bali.
or like, yeah, you guys live in straw houses or like tiny houses and it's all green like that. And when actually Jakarta is like
a high-rise building.
High-rise buildings and
it's literally a mega city,
city vibe.
Yeah, so I think we also want people to learn more about our home. I mean, we're the fourth biggest country, okay? Like, come on.
Seriously. We have like how many people?
200 million. I think 250 million.
If I'm not wrong, the entire population of Bulgaria is about, was it 6 or 9 million people? And there's more people than that in Jakarta itself.
Yeah, Jakarta is so overpopulated.
And so big. So that's all
Yeah.
we have today. Thank you guys so much for joining us as
Thanks.
we discuss and appreciate our Indonesian culture. Grace has been sketching the entire time, so hopefully you'll get to see what she's been drawing later on. All right.
Happy
Alright.
Independence Day, guys.
Happy Independence Day.
Ka.
Friday.
Bye.
Bye.
Woo.
Hello, hi! Thank you for listening to the Peak Boredom podcast. This is Mars and Inga signing off, and don't forget to tune in next week. Please? Bye!